Yeah, buddy. What is going on, everybody? It's Childish. We're back at it again. We got ourselves the next Unit and Rune showcase for March 2016. If y'all don't know what it is, you better ask somebody. So, as you guys know, if you've been following me for quite a few months now, every time after the Rune removal, I want to take the opportunity to do a Unit and Rune showcase, talking about my setups, my theories and thoughts behind my setups, and why I do the things that I do, so that you can use this video as a reference for the month if you have a question with regards to one of my setups or whatnot, or what of my units are for that particular setup. So again, if you are looking for some gameplay footage, this is not the video. Okay, this is just showcasing the units and the runes. So thank you for your support for watching this video. All right. The cool thing about this is that even though I put out these videos, I generally give you guys updates throughout the month, depending on where we're at with regards to our setups and whatnot. And so, because I make changes all the time, but you're actually gonna laugh your butt off, because a lot of the changes that I make are done like in advance before Rune removal. Rune removal day, I don't do a lot of stuff. I just test and then test and tweak it out. So I will go through the units that basically make big game changes, spend a little bit of time on those, and then anything else after that, just kind of showcasing the setup so you guys can see what I'm doing. My Megan Violent Will, part of my AO team, Speed AO team, Bernard, Megan, then Devolution. Some people opt for a Swift Megan because it's just easier, right? Your goal is just to get Lucians, be fast enough so you can get your Lucians out there. I've been using a Violent Megan for quite some time, because my Megan was a part of my Dragons B10 team, which is not anymore. However, I do use her in the Guild War settings, and I like being able to buff the attack part and then have the opportunity to use my beneficial effect blocker. I go against a lot of DMR based teams, and so having the ability to provide not just the attack buff for my Lucian, but the beneficial blocker on Theo saves me a lot of pain and agony when I'm trying to one-shot a team completely. Here we go. So we got ourselves, just a simple format here: speed, hit point, accuracy, making sure I get as much accuracy and speed as possible. Other than that, nothing really good. We got two world boss units, so Water Kung Fu Girl and Kaz. I unruned Kaz to play around with another unit, but generally I have these two runed up just for the world boss because I don't use them anymore. Water Lich, you guys have seen the videos. If not, you'll see me do a lot of gameplay in the background in Necro with regards to my Necropolis team. He is the bread and butter of my Necropolis team. Attack, crit damage, attack. With a little bit of speed. I wasn't too focused on speed because of the fact that I have me, I have all my other units, faster, so that he is the last one to go. Just to kind of give you an idea, he is max skilled. Okay, I talked about the importance of having this unit max skilled, having the reduction of the cooldown times to 2 turns, extremely OP. The value of a unit that's providing random effects to the Necropolis boss is extremely well. A lot of multi-hits. But just to kind of give you an idea, I have the attack power leader skill, the attack power tower maxed. I bring Lucian as my leader skill, providing 33% attack power, and then I have him buffed with attack power from Colleen. And with those 3 buffs, okay, with this amount of attack power that you already see right here, and the critical damage, I'm doing 14k ticks on the boss, 14 to 15k ticks on the boss. So you guys, if you're hitting the boss 4 times, 60k, that's half of its life. So you guys can understand that this can be an extremely a great unit for Necropolis, not just for the damage that it brings, but for the speed at which it brings that damage. Because again, you have the turns, you have this big whammy every 2 turns. So sometimes it gets to the point where I'm able to clear Necropolis without the boss pulling one of my units, because I'm getting him that last turn and just knocking out that attack bar so quickly. So great stuff there. Chandra, no changes, but we'll just go through it again. Violent Revenge, attack, HP, crit damage, HP. Was it gone in 60 seconds? This is my Eleanor. Here. The one and only. It's been the one of my favorite units of all time. Playing around with him, definitely needs a lot of work with regards to the AI of this skill, but an amazing unit out there. If you're using it in an offensive setting, whether it is PvE or PvP, so I definitely recommend it out there. If you have it in your storage box, play around with it. It's some good stuff. Sigmaris, just used for secret dungeon to clear attack or damage attack. It has some, some of the basic runes. I even brought down his critical rate because I stole a lot of runes that gave him a little bit more critical rate and whatnot because I've used the other units more than I use him. Like I said, he's just in there for the secret dungeons, and when I go into secret dungeons, I bring Corona, so I only need 70% critical rate to have him maxed out when I have the buff on. So Tyron, no changes. Despair, broken, speed, crit damage, attack. 210 speed, 143 crit damage. This unit with no attack power buff on a defense break with these kind of numbers is hitting about 11k, 11 to 12k on a unit. Depending on what it has for defense or whatnot. So it brings a lot of damage to that first kill, and then having the ability to have that consecutive hit, really strong. But again, it is one of my troll AD kind of setups there that I use the middle of the week. This is part of that speed comp that I use, so I have to make him. I want to bring damage with him, but I want to make him fast too. We got ourselves Orion. Orion, no big changes again. Speed, defense, HP, and I'm only using defense because that's the runes that I got to make them work. 1300 defense, 23,000 hit points. So overall, really good. An amazing unit for all aspects of the game, but most notably PvP, whether it's Arena or Guild Wars. So definitely get an opportunity to use it. If you do not start using it until you get this third skill maxed, because it is a very, very nice skill. Theomars, there was a small change, but not because I needed to make him stronger. I wanted to take a revenge root off of him. I had a revenge root on here with 21 speed and more or less the same critical rate, critical damage. And then I had this rune sitting around here, so I wanted to put it on because it's only -2 speed, but more or less the same stats, and allowed me to put a revenge set on a unit that I wanted to put it on. So then we got this critical damage rune. Attack crit damage attack was 75 sub speed. The only change that was made was just getting this rune. I got this rune like a day or two after rune removal day, so I swapped it out, because I want to make him a little bit better, a little bit stronger. But overall, no big changes. I'm a big fan of attack or damage attack if you can get the speed subsets, but if not, then you need to go speed on 2 and get the speed subset you need, especially if this is your leading defense breaker for any of your PvP based setups. So chilling. Was using him for Dragon Speed 10, not anymore, and still using for Necro. He is rocking speed, attack, because the attack runes that I got here give me the speed that I want and the hit points that I want. You saw some of these runes out there have some hit point substats. It just hangs in, like I said, it's a high amount of speed, good amount of attack, and again, I need to, when my comp for Necropolis, I need to provide the support, but I want to also provide a little bit of damage. And even though it would make sense to go with critical damage on the 4 slot, I know that I can't get him the critical rate that I want to be up there. I know that he provides a critical rate, but it's still not enough critical rate where I want him to be to have that steady amount of damage. So I'm just keeping him with attack power for now, and maybe in the future I'll mix it up. So before I get into this particular unit, this will be the first of, actually I guess this is the second because we already talked about Theo, but my initial goal with regards to this rune removal, most of the stuff was already done, but I generally look at the month with regards to any new units that I get and what is going to improve my game or my progression as a whole. And so with the reason, the main pull of Vertihill a while back, a couple of weeks ago, I knew that my focus for the rune removal day was going to be to obviously build, Vertihill to be efficient, but to basically revamp my Dragons B10 team so that I can clear, even faster. I was able to do a minute 45 runs with a team a while back, and now I mixed it up so that we can utilize Vertihill in that comp, but with chilling out because chilling has that reduced casting speed, so I wanted to mix it up with a different team. Galleon, it was always in there, but Galleon did get just some grindstones to improve some of the accuracy there. He is going speed, attack, HP. You can see that just because of the attack substats, the accuracy substats. That's the reason why I go violent focus on this. It gives me the accuracy that I want, the speed that I want. A lot of people like the violent revenge, but I'm not gonna sacrifice accuracy for a chance to counterattack on his first skill and provide a defense break. An amazing unit out there. I've talked about it many times. All the YouTubers and streamers talked about it many times as far as what this unit brings to the table as far as accelerating your giants, dragons, and PvE like TOA, speed clears and whatnot. Really nice unit out there. If you don't have like Lucians or whatnot to clear it out, really quick. But an amazing unit out there. Definitely invest into a Devilmons or whatnot. Really cool unit. Stella, no changes to her. Just some updated grindstones again. Violent focus, speed, attack. She was speed, attack, HP, but I was able to get a little bit more. I was able to take out a rune a few weeks ago from Hua that had a great hit point substat. So because I had the hit point substat, I took away the hit point rune to get her more damage. My rifting team is Jameer and Delphoy up front, and then I got Stella, Hua, Chasoon, and Chloe Feo, Chasoon and Colleen in the back. And so because I only have 2 damage dealers, I'm trying to do the most damage they can, and so that's why I have Hua and Stella spec the way they do. Really good units. Going back to the Dragon Speed 10 team, it's without a doubt one of the best units out there for speed clearing Dragon Speed 10s. You guys have seen the skill set. If you guys remember way back when I had this underrated and overlooked series showcasing some units that get overlooked, and I definitely talked about this one way back when. An amazing unit out there to say the least. Has the ability to bring 2 fellow allies with the to the table, and of course with regards to speed clearing, bringing units that provide dots or defense breaks, just attack bar manipulation with regards to whoever it is, you're going to get so much value out of using this particular unit. And even like I said, if you have this combination with Vertihill, getting that additional chance for Vertihill to provide the attack bar manipulation and get yourself some extra attack bar increase. An amazing unit out there. Definitely highly recommended if you have the right combination units and runes to get it done. Because regardless if you have the exact same comp as some of the people that are showcasing their Dragon Speed 10 team out there, you have to have a certain level of runes. I feel like with Tark, if he is going to be helping out with the damage, then having the critical rate, if you're going with the critical damage setup speed, crit damage attack, having that critical rate at about 85% is going to be where you want to be, because again you have the elemental advantage on the fire-based dragon, so 85% is pretty safe. Obviously you can go higher, but it just depends on the runes that you got. Roke, he is used just in Necropolis here. No big changes. Speed, attack. I had the same combination of stuff but with different runes, but as you'll see soon enough, I've had to shuffle a lot of runes around to get my Vertihill on a Violent and Revenge set. Hua, no initial changes, no changes on the Rune move a day. A few weeks ago I did take her from a Violent Broken to a Violent Blade, because the Blade runes gave me the attack, defense, hit points that I want, and allowed me to go with the critical damage versus going speed, attack, and making him really strong without losing any critical rate. I went speed, attack for a while on a Violent set, but with the Blade subset, it still kept my hit points high, and it allowed me to have critical damage now, so I can do a little bit more damage in rifting. My goal for this particular unit is to get some more grindstones to fill out some of these runes. As you can see, I have a couple of slots here that need to be upgraded from the grindstone, so a little bit of wiggle room. Other than that, though, yeah, I want to get her back up to 20k from the grindstone, get some better re-rolls. I got some bad rolls on some of the runes in there, so Clara is not used, just for the world boss right now. I like the unit, I like the skill set, but I just have too many other units to focus on. Spectra was a change that I made beforehand. Again, the focus was on improving the consistency and speed of my team. I've always used a Swift-based Spectra, but I find that having the ability to have a violent set on a particular unit, that you're reliant upon using the second and third skill, one to provide extra damage based on enemy's max HP, and then one to provide that attack introduction. I feel like the combination of a unit like this on Violent and having a Vertihill on Violent is extremely strong, and it really helps you with those random RNG factors that don't come your way in the Dragons of 10 stage 5 boss there. So yeah, overall I like this particular setup. 100% critical rate, nearly 100% accuracy. Obviously, the goal is to mix and match the runes so I can keep the critical rate high, add some critical damage while maintaining the accuracy. But at the end of the day, I value 100% critical rate to do X amount of damage versus having a 70% critical rate to do X to the third power or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have the 100% critical rate because again, it is dependent on the enemy's max HP. Draco, no changes. Despair, Focus, Speed, HP. Did get a new rune, so I slapped it on there to give him about 200 to 6 speed. I'm only using this here and there, not too much anymore. I use Vermos as my HP lead a lot, but again, when I need immunity and I can take that first turn, but I don't have my other units synced within the team to go right afterwards, and that the other team's going to cut in. I do like to use this unit when I want to. Okay, so it's a good unit. Leica, this is it's not a change from last time. You guys see me in my Guild War video. One of my favorite Guild War teams to go after or to go with is Theo, Orion, and Leica. So as you can see, with Orion being at 241 speed, 70% of that is right around 166. So I had him at 166 and him at 164. He just got a recent rune upgrade, so he's a little bit higher, but I basically want him to go after Orion, as you can guess, and because Orion provides the amazing skill set of stunning, defense break, or whatnot, I have the opportunity to have a defense break, and then even though Theo and Leica is not, doesn't have the elemental advantage over everybody because he has that passive that doesn't allow him to glance, I have a much better chance of critting on a weaker element than I would if I was just going at him, just randomly. So I like the combination of units. Because his damage multipliers is extremely strong, I can get away with going with speed on 2 and still doing good numbers. I know that I'm hitting on a defense broken unit for, I want to say, in that 25-26k range. That might be with attack buff, I can't remember, but I mean his numbers are still OP even without attack, attack on 2. So play around with the guys. I think that's another one out there that you can mix and match in a hybrid format and still do well. I love to see people mix it around it. I have it set up for that particular Guild War offense, so obviously I'm not going to play around with that too much, but I'm just focused on making sure that it goes right after Theo. Colleen, same setup, Violent Revenge, speed, hit point. I just mixed and matched some Violent Revenge runes to get my speed higher. She was sitting at 175 speed for a while, and then with the switching out of certain runes and then putting grindstones on that, I did get her her speed over 210. When we're talking about rifting level 5, the more healers that you bring into the table that have over 200 speed, the better. And with me, my particular composition is kind of interesting in the sense, not in a good way. I'm using Colleen and Jasun as my main healers. I got my cleanser as Delphoid, but I don't consider her a healer because she's just, like I said, it's a baby heal. But with them having the skills that they have, and then casting them whenever they see fit, not a conditional heal like a Bella. I have a lot of overlapping when it comes to heals, which is not good. But because I have Jameer in my team, Jameer resets and will give me extra heals, when they're available. And so even with that, I still have issues. So what alleviates some of that stress for me is to have high speed, so that I get those get an opportunity to go, and then when I get an opportunity to go, I get those reduction cooldown times brought back to me a little bit quicker. So great unit. Let's see, Vanessa has taken a slam. As you guys know, I've always been focused on improving what I'm here to do. My focus is on Guild Wars because that's what I do. I'm in an epic fail community. I'm in a competitive guild, and so even though I want to do a lot of put my best runes on my best units, my best natural 5-star, so to speak, I'm not focused on arena. You guys might have seen I have a lot of troll defenses set up. I'm generally, even now, I used to be hanging around at the late stages of Conqueror 3, early stages of Guardian 1. Now you'll see me in Conqueror 2 Conquer 3, low end of Conquer 3, just because I'm putting random defenses on, and even so much I'll you know, climb up and use my swords and get into G1, but that's it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not actively making sure I use all my swords. I'm having a hard time getting the time to use all those swords right away, and so because I want to use all my swords and be more effective about my glory points. I'm allowing myself to drop down to Conquer 2 so I can clear my swords quickly. So she was part of, oh, fail. Yeah, no runes on her. She was part of my Necropolis team, so I don't use her. I'm going to ruin her for the World Boss. Chloe, I do play around with her a little bit in Guild Wars now. Speed, hit point, swift will. The speed is not where I want it to be. It needs to be faster, but for having 250 speed on will, still going to allow me to get away with using her in a couple of comps when I'm bringing a speed kind of a leader, or just certain comps that are bringing kind of a bruiser kind of setup, and they're banking on using the first turn for something and getting away with it. But this particular amount of speed, since I have control over who I'm bringing to the table, depending on the composition, it allows me to still get that first turn on it. Obviously, I'm not gonna bring Chloe on in a yellow Bernard comp that they're bringing, you know, on their defense. So I'm just using her wisely. Again, so probably the number one unit that got mixed around quite a bit. Violent Revenge. I was a big fan of my Swift Revenge set. I was able to get her to a double Revenge Nemesis set. Fail. And he was sitting at 2100 attack, 210 speed and whatnot. But again, double Revenge Nemesis is still not as strong as a Violent set on it if you can, you know, get the stats where you want them to be. All the runes basically changed. This was that revenge rune that I took off of Theo to get the speed that I want and basically fill my revenge set on him. I even got him to a triple revenge, and I loved it. But I just knew that I wanted the opportunities to get those additional turns, just so I can. I know that every once in a while I'm going to lose a random fight in Dragons V10, so having the ability to get the additional turns, get that attack bar up, is just going to help out fine tune my team, and I love it. 215 speed. 213 speed, Violent Venture Hill. I can't complain. A lot of wiggle room for the hit points. Okay, so I got a couple of slots here that will allow me to improve. You know, when I get the grindstones in, maxing out certain runes. I haven't maxed out the 5-slot runes, so I can get him to about 16k, no question, and that'll help out a little bit. And of course, I have plenty of hit point runes if I need to beef him up and go with the hit point rune for like TOA or something like that. But Ardella, fail. Dude. Okay, we're back once again. Apparently, clicking Ardella crashes people. It crashed me, so yeah. Ardella, one of my first 6 stars out there that I used. When everybody was fortunate enough at the beginning stages of the game to have the Lucians, I did not have the Lucians, so I built certain units that provided a lot of damage, one-shotty type of damage. So when people were Bernard, Megan, or using their Megan in combination with like a Lucian, I was using Megan in combination with an Ardella and just one-shotting units without the defense break, and still doing it because she does so much damage. But yeah, she's just a world boss unit right now. No big deal on her. I've always wanted to play around with her in Rifting Stage level 5 because they changed her skill set to allow she to provide a harmful effect, and the first skill on that Rifting boss is going to attack break, so that's always nice to have an additional attack break. But again, with a unit that has such low base HP, low base defense and whatnot, you're going to have a hard time keeping this unit up, and you're going to have to sacrifice DPS to make her more sustainable. So haven't really played around with her. for a while. Hopefully in the future I can, but not a big focus for me right now because I already got my team set. Jameer got played around a little bit. He used to be HP, defense HP, but because I was able to mix and match some runes that gave me the stats that I want, I was able to get about 1500 defense, over 1500 defense. I think I had 1700 defense, and then the 30k hit points. I felt like the baseline that most people say for R5 is around that 25k hit points and about 1500 defense. So when I realized that I had, you know, over 7k more HP than I necessarily needed to, then I sacrificed HP for speed on the second side so I can be faster. And of course, with this unit being the resetter for my healers, which is extremely important when my healers are always overfilling and wasting their skills, so to speak. Having him high speed so that I can get, you know, more turns, you know, or whatnot with him is pretty good. My Lucians did not change. Okay, so Lucians here, attack, crit damage, attack, and I'll showcase the other runes here so people understand why I'm using a vampire. I'm not using vampire because vampire Lucian's OP. I'm using a vampire because those are some of my best runes with regards to those stats. And so still a lot of improvements that I can make as far as speed modifications go, but where his speed is at right now, I like it. I need to buff up him a little bit. He's on the Despair Blade set. I am a big fan of Despair Lucians. If you can rock one in there, it's really nice to throw in there just in case you do not get a chance to clear it. I do see a lot of people sacrificing attack power on 2 so they can get the speed that they need to sync up their Bernards, you know, with their Bernard Mega Lucian combo. Obviously, if you can mix the matches to get the speed that you need without sacrificing speed on 2, then play around with that. And don't be afraid of playing around with random fatal sets or whatnot to make up, you know, using those primary sets or the rage set of the primary set to make up for those lost stats that you would on the attack power. Like me personally, I know that I've seen it out there, people using, you know, fatal sets with speed on 2, fatal speed rune. It sucks because you use speed on 2, but you make some of that attack power up from the set, you know, whatnot, so you don't lose too much, you know, out of it for going speed on 2. Really nice if you get that, you know, the right rune combination. Delphoy is a part of that rifting team for R5. Speed, hit point, defense. Just because I have these are the runes that I have, I'd love to improve them. This is what I got to work with. I want to keep her on a Violent Nemesis set because, again, she is my one and only cleanser right now, and so I need to improve not just her speed, but her ability to cleanse as much as I can. Combination with Jameer is going to get me a lot more cleansing, but still, I want to have it still be up as much as possible. So having a Nemesis set versus something else, I feel like it's going to be a little bit more strong for my situation, and my resistance still needs to be improved. A lot of my units were set up in that 50 to 59% resistance rate. Now with everyone using 30% resistance leader, I have to keep on improving it. So yeah, I'll keep on working on that. A small change into soon. We have her speed, hit point. She was Violent Endure. She was actually sitting at 170 speed with 35k HP, and so I sacrificed quite a bit of hit points to get 25 extra speed. Some might not find value of it, but when people go from, you know, 170 speed healers that I have from Shasun and Colleen to having them both over 200 speed, you will definitely see, if you get the opportunity to raid with me, that even though I waste a lot of heals, so to speak, because these are constantly buffing and healing with their skill, they're still up a lot at the time because, again, I have so much overall speed, and you're going to see it like time and time and again. People bringing 200 speed healers. It's definitely a really good benchmark to have in the R5 setting. So I encourage people to try it out if they haven't already. And again, if you go with speed on 2, then there's many ways to make up for that speed if you want to go with like a violent energy set or whatnot to get that HP. But again, it all depends on the subsets that you have on your runes. Brian, no changes. Despair, Revenge, HP, Defense, HP. Used to be speed, HP way back when, but now I want to play around with a little defense because I use him in combination with Chasun a lot, and Chasun is a flat HP healer, so there's more value in a flat HP healer on units that have a blend of HP and defense, so the HP pool is a little bit smaller. Let's see, Bernard. no changes. I had 2 months ago. I had a big change of with the introduction of grindstones and improving my speed clearing for rifting level 4. Got a lot more swift speed substats, the grindstone, so I was able to take my Bernard from like 240 to 276 or whatever it is. And other than that, though, I have no big changes. Silly rune here, resistance rune. A lot of people are like, resistance is silly, but take a look at some of these substats, guys. Don't be afraid to keep some of these random WTF runes that don't look all too good on paper. But when you mix and match your runes to get the stats that you want, you can get the speed that you want, and sometimes you can even get resistance that you want, which is always nice, depending on where you're at in the game. Let's see. So a little bit of change on Charlotte over rune removal. I was playing around with some speed runes that I got. I still haven't even maxed this out. I had gotten 2 different speed runes over the last month. That was one, and Leica was the other. That had some really nice critical rate, critical damage substats, and whatnot. So because I was using energy on her, I said, might as well make it look cute and put this one on her, so I can fill the subset and get some extra HP. Every so often, I bring Charlotte, Megan, and Lucian to one of my teams, or I use Bernard, Charlotte, Lucian, and whatnot. And so because they're YOLO based, having the extra HP on this particular unit definitely helps out. But overall, I just wanted to have about 70% critical rate, because sometimes I use her critical rate leader skill, but it's not every time. So as you can see, I was trying to do what I can to keep her critical rate as high as possible while still providing some critical damage. Let's see. I re-runed Darien to fall into that role of a frontliner if I need to. This last month, I had a couple of times where I brought my typical composition that works well with the people in my guild. But sometimes I raid with people that are friends of friends in other guilds or whatnot, and their units, the synergy with me is not the same, and so I find myself more often than not being forced to lead the pack and then bring a team that can tank if somebody dies. And so if that's the case, I generally swap out one of my damage dealers for Darien, and so I wanted to make him a little bit tankier or whatnot. Revenge Guard, blah. Just using all the runes that I got that provide me the best substats that I can. You can see some of these here have some really good substats, but still need a lot of work. But yeah, overall it's looking good. I'm looking forward to using that. Arya, no changes. Speed, hit point. I used to use her a lot in TOA, but then now I rotate Bernard, fail. I rotate Tyron, Beretta, Veramos, Thrain, and I think Jameer. Those are my 4 CC units that I use, plus Jameer being the resetter. So I'm constantly putting dots and stuns on it and whatnot. Arya used to be a part of that, but when I had Thrain for a while. What did I get recently? I started using Thrain a little bit more. Maybe that was it. I can't remember. But that was basically the composition that I used for quite some time, and so it worked out really good. She's a really good unit, but I brought too many AoE based CC units, so because she would sleep somebody, when I sleep somebody, it'd be good, but I'd have to do a lot of single target action, and my team was not built around single target action. That's what it was. So yeah. Bella, I finally, even before the rune removal, I finally improved a little bit of her runes. Still Violent Nemesis because I used her on the Guild Wars defense, and I feel like Nemesis on a defensive base, Bella Dion, if you're using it for AD or GWD, is really strong. So yeah, overall I'm happy. 200 speed Bella Dion. Helia, I'm just messing around with her, playing around with that Swift Blade set that I had on Kaz. Nothing exciting. She does have some good damage multipliers, but again, just messing around. Corona, I haven't changed his runes since 1982. Despair Energy, speed, hit point, defense. I'm just making sure that Corona stays faster than my Lucians if I ever use him in a Lucian combination, which he is. So that's all the point. I am excited to showcase this new one here. This new one was a combination of Darian's old runes that provided a tanky unit, provided crit damage. But I was able to mix around some runes that allow me to get 20 extra crit damage. So speed, or sorry, speed. I'm so used to saying speed. I got hit points, crit damage, hit points, but as you can see by the substats that I'm bringing, it gives me the critical rate, critical damage that I want. And because he has a nice base speed, I don't have to add too much speed to make him effective within my teams and get him in line for syncing, for synergy. I'm excited to show you guys. You might have already seen a couple of videos. I'm going to be making a DPS Jubel base Guild Wars video just so you guys can see the damage output that they can put on with these stats. But again, get excited for that, guys, because he can put out some numbers. Both Darian and Jubel can put out some numbers. Amazing unit Jubel is, so excited to show you guys some content in the future. Veramos, no changes, just grindstones put into it. Violent guard, speed, hit point. Doing everything I can to max out those slots that I can and get those grindstones in there. Want to make him as speedy and as tanky as possible. Obviously his hit points are a little bit low for where I want him to be for my Guild War defense. He is a crucial part of my Guild War defense, and so I need to definitely invest my grindstones into him. But I couldn't get mad, even though my hit points are low. My defense is relatively high compared to most Veramos out there, so it kind of makes up for it. Obviously, having the high speed, even if he's on a defense, if his defense broken, having that high speed is going to allow me to, get that harmful effect removed right away. And so it kind of puts me right back to my baseline of 1600 defense. So I like it. Julton, Violent Revenge. We got hit points, triple HP. Made a recent video on it. You guys saw it. It has low speed substats, but that's intentional. The speed substats give me a couple of speed advantage right above my Chandra. So if you guys saw my video, I went Julton, Chandra, Chloe. I took the speed lead to give me more speed on Chloe to get that first turn, and then bringing Violent Revenge, Julton, and Chandra is going to give me 2 ways. I got a defense breaker from Julton, defense, hit point, disturb, with a stun on the second skill, right? You guys know that. And then having Chandra also being able to stun on one of the skills, but again, just do some absurd amount of damage. It's a really nice combination. Shout out to Pando one time. Pando was talking to me about that combination a while back, and so mixing and matching some runes so I can play around with it. For you guys, definitely got to go triple HP if you're playing around with Julton. Keep in mind that his base defense is really low, so he's even though he has a lot of hit points, he's still kind of squishy. He's like Perna, where you can do some good damage on one unit, but if you do that same damage on Julton and Perna, they're going to take a lot more because their defense is a lot lower. Let's see, and then last but not least, the only other changes that I got here is or no changes, but it's Basalt, rocking the Violent Focus, HP defense. I like the combination of defense and HP, so I can use it for TOA. A lot of people opt for more HP or going with like a speed HP, so that you can get a little bit more value out of its heal. But generally, I bring Chisun with regards to Basalt, so I do have a healer that's going to definitely help out. And with, again, bringing Chisun and Basalt and Brian, hybrid-based units out here with a combination of HP and defense allows me to get more value out of my Chisun's heal. So that's why I like that particular setup. I would like more speed on it, but the accuracy is what I want. And if I were to mix and match some runes, I would lose a lot of my accuracy that I want on this. So I want to keep the accuracy high. Other than that, guys, I got a lot of other units out there, but I'm all just testing and whatnot. Nothing real fancy. As you saw from my last summoning session, I pulled the second Vertihill, so I will be building a PvP space Vertihill in the future. But other than that, hopefully you guys like that unit showcase and some of the things kind of helped you out. If you have any questions with regards to units specifically, make sure to put it in the comment section down below. And if you've been watching this since the beginning, thank you all for tuning in. I know it's a long video, a couple of crashes or whatnot, but again, I can never get through 1 month without at least 15 to 20 people asking me, how did I ruin this unit? How did I ruin that unit? So I wanted to make sure I give an opportunity for everybody to check out my box and see how I have things through, so that if they want to play around with different compositions for them, they can go ahead and use my video as a reference. So that is it, guys. Thank you all for tuning in for this unit and rune showcase for March of 2016. I appreciate your support as always. It's your boy Childish, your ChildishPlays checking out. Take care, and we will see you next time, guys. We're out.